You've seen the videos. A gold ATM in a hotel lobby. A Lamborghini abandoned at the airport. A skyline that looks like it was designed by a billionaire on a sugar high. For the last 15 years, we've all been told the same story about Dubai, that it's the richest city on earth, the playground of oil sheikhs, crypto millionaires, and influencers who somehow made it before turning 25. But here's the thing, nobody on Instagram will tell you. Dubai doesn't actually have much oil. It's drowning in debt, and a huge chunk of that shiny skyline. It was built on borrowed money, borrowed labor, and a marketing illusion so good it fooled the entire world. The game is more rigged than you think, and the people selling you the Dubai dream are benefiting in ways you'd never guess. So in this video, we're going to break down how Dubai actually makes its money, why the wealth you see isn't the wealth you think it is, and whether the whole thing is about to come crashing down. Let's get started. Here's what most people don't realize. 60 years ago, Dubai was not a city. It was a fishing village. In 1960, the population was around 40,000 people. The main industries were pearl diving and small-scale trade across the Persian Gulf. There were no highways, no skyscrapers, no airport, just sand, boats, and a creek. Then, in 1966, oil was discovered. And this is where the story gets interesting, because everyone assumes Dubai got rich the same way Saudi Arabia or Kuwait got rich. Pump oil, collect billions, build gold toilets. But Dubai's oil reserves were tiny compared to its neighbors. At their peak in the early 1990s, oil made up about half of Dubai's economy. Today, oil accounts for less than 1% of Dubai's GDP. Let me repeat that, less than 1%. So how did a city with almost no oil become synonymous with insane wealth? That's the shift. In the 1980s, Dubai's rulers made a calculated bet. They knew the oil would run out, so instead of hoarding it, they used it as seed money to build something else entirely, a brand. They poured billions into ports, free trade zones, airports, and tourism. They rewrote laws to attract foreign money. They built the tallest building in the world, the biggest mall in the world, a man-made island shaped like a palm tree. None of it was strictly necessary. All of it was marketing. Here's the then versus now that tells you everything. In 1990, Dubai's economy was worth around $10 billion and was majority oil. In 2024, it's worth over $130 billion, and oil is a rounding error. The rest? It's real estate, tourism, finance, and logistics. In other words, it's a service economy built on convincing the rest of the world to show up, spend money, and park their assets there. Okay, so if Dubai isn't rich from oil, where does the money actually come from? Here's the simple analogy. Dubai is like a five-star hotel. The hotel itself doesn't produce anything. It doesn't farm. It doesn't manufacture. It doesn't invent. What it does is offer a service. A beautiful, frictionless, no questions asked service. And as long as wealthy people from around the world keep checking in, the hotel keeps making money. Let me break down the mechanics. First, real estate. Dubai has built one of the most aggressive property markets on earth. Foreigners can buy property outright, which is actually rare in the Middle East. There's no property tax, no capital gains tax, no income tax on rental income. If you're a Russian oligarch, a Nigerian politician, a Chinese businessman, or a British crypto bro trying to move money out of your home country, Dubai is the most convenient place on the planet to park it. You buy a penthouse, you flip it in 2 years, you walk away with a clean profit and no government asking questions. Second, tourism. Dubai gets around 18 million international visitors a year. The whole city is engineered for Instagram. Every hotel has a rooftop pool. Every restaurant has a view. Every experience is designed to be shared online, which means every tourist becomes a free advertisement, pulling in the next wave of tourists. Third, logistics. Dubai's airport is one of the busiest in the world for international travel, and its port handles a massive chunk of global shipping. Geographically, it sits between Europe, Africa and Asia, making it the perfect middleman for trade. Now here's the counterintuitive truth. Despite all this activity, Dubai runs on enormous amounts of debt. The government and state-linked companies owe hundreds of billions of dollars. Property prices in some neighborhoods are wildly disconnected from what locals actually earn. Much of the flashiest development isn't funded by Dubai itself. It's funded by Abu Dhabi, the actual oil-rich emirate next door, which has bailed Dubai out more than once, most famously in 2009 when Dubai World nearly collapsed. So when you see the skyline, you're not looking at earned wealth, you're looking at leveraged wealth. The difference matters. Here's the part nobody talks about. When you look at Dubai, you see glitz. What you don't see is the shadow player running the whole show. About 90% of Dubai's population are not citizens. They're foreign workers. And they fall into two radically different groups. At the top, you have the expats you see on YouTube. The finance guys, the influencers, the crypto traders, the real estate agents. They live in marina high-rises, drive leased G-wagons, and produce most of the content that sells you on Dubai. They are, essentially, the marketing department. At the bottom, you have millions of workers, mostly from South Asia and Africa, who actually build and run the city. They construct the towers, drive the taxis, clean the hotels, and serve the food. Many of them work under a sponsorship system that ties their legal status to their employer. They live in labor camps on the outskirts of the city, and they are almost completely invisible in the marketing. This is the direct impact on the illusion. The reason Dubai looks so cheap to build, so cheap to run, and so dazzlingly profitable is that a huge portion of the labor is paid very little. The luxury you see at the top is subsidized by the invisibility of the workforce at the bottom. And then there's the money. Dubai has become one of the world's largest hubs for what you might politely call unexplained wealth. Investigations from organizations like the Carnegie Endowment and the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project have repeatedly found that Dubai real estate is a destination for funds fleeing sanctions, tax authorities, and criminal investigations in dozens of countries. The Financial Action Task Force, the global watchdog on money laundering, placed the UAE on its grey list in 2022 for exactly these reasons. It was removed in 2024, but the reputation remains. Now here's the domino effect. Because so much of Dubai's economy depends on foreign money flowing in, anything that slows that flow is dangerous. When oil prices crash, Gulf investors pull back. When global interest rates rise, speculative real estate buyers disappear. When Western sanctions tighten on, say, Russia, Dubai briefly benefits, but it also attracts regulatory scrutiny. The city is deeply exposed to global mood swings it doesn't control. We saw it in 2009. The global financial crisis hit. Property prices in Dubai collapsed by around 50%, and Dubai World nearly defaulted on $59 billion in debt. The skyscrapers stopped mid-construction. Abu Dhabi had to step in with a $20 billion bailout to keep the illusion alive. The Burj Khalifa, originally called the Burj Dubai, was actually renamed at its opening in honor of the Abu Dhabi ruler who bailed the city out. The tallest building in the world is, in a very real sense, a monument to someone else's money. So what's the harsh truth here? Dubai isn't rich in the way you've been sold. It's a brilliantly engineered service economy that imports wealth, entertains wealth, and stores wealth, but doesn't generate nearly as much of it as the skyline suggests. The gold, the cars, the penthouses, most of that belongs to foreigners passing through, not to a broad base of local prosperity. And the whole system is held together by debt, by cheap labor, and by a steady inflow of outside money that could slow down the moment global conditions shift. That doesn't mean Dubai is going to collapse tomorrow. It's a genuinely useful city, in a strategic location, with a government that plans decades ahead. But the image of Dubai as the richest city on earth is a story, carefully constructed, endlessly reinforced by influencers who have every reason to keep the story alive. If you're thinking about moving there, investing there, or buying property there, just know what you're actually buying into. You're not buying into a Saudi-style petro economy. You're buying into a luxury hotel that depends on guests who can always decide to check out. So here's my question for you. When you picture Dubai, do you picture wealth or do you picture a really good marketing campaign? Drop your honest take in the comments. And if this changed how you see the city, hit subscribe. We break down one economic illusion a week on this channel.